Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play AGEOD's Civil War. I think we got an exciting turn coming up here, so let's jump into it. This force that recently took Baltimore managed to split itself into two pieces. Most of it went off this way to besiege Media. If I hover over it, you see it's, three good divisions there. And they only left one division behind to cover Baltimore. Luckily for us, Crittenden here with his three divisions plus Christopher Auger is active. So there's going to be a battle of Baltimore. I hope. I don't think Longstreet can really retreat in any direction except maybe up this way towards the Delaware River. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping for a big battle here because we outnumbered him, 1,700 to like 250. So we're more powerful than him by like 8 to 1. So I got good hopes there. Over here in Pennsylvania, E.K. Smith's corps has moved up. So we're now, Rasmus Key's corps is now trying to fight off two of these stacks. He's not active this turn. I'm going to go ahead and just move him forward one region, and we'll see what happens. I don't really know what my logic is for doing that, except I want to get in the mix, try to get as close as possible. Maybe Joe Johnston will pull back as a result of us moving forward. We'll see. That's about it here for the East, I think. We're going to have to deal with this stack eventually. It's pretty powerful. There's three divisions right now being raised in Boston, and Crittenden, if he wins this battle, maybe he'll be able to turn and go up this way and start to worry about Bushrod Johnson there. Moving west, we have the Siege of Dayton commencing. There's a division in there of power almost 600. And it looks like we got a breach. And it looks like Grant is active with his big stack of power, 2,600. So I'm hoping for a big win here. This will be really nice if we manage to obliterate that division. Rosecrans is not active again this turn. I want to do something about this stack here before turning and doing something about Confederate-controlled Madison there. But I need to wait for Rosecrans to activate, so he'll have to sit. Down here near the Mississippi, Albert Sidney Johnston is looks to be heading up into southern Illinois from Paducah. So we're going to have to send somebody over there pretty quick to deal with that. It's a long way to Chicago, so we have a little land to give here. If he comes up and takes Salem, that sort of stinks, but it's not the end of the world, as long as we can get Grant or maybe Rosecrans over here shortly. So over here in Missouri, I'm going to move this division back to St. Louis. He just chased somebody away from Jefferson City, and I don't know where he went. Over here in the river is Van Dorn's command, and he seems to be going, I guess he's going for a raid up here in Iowa. I don't really have anything around to chase him down with. I'll pull Sumner back a little bit. Luckily for us, it's late September and winter's coming. So if the snows hit in a turn or two, Van Dorn might get into some trouble. He might end up starving to death up there. I don't know. This doesn't seem to be the right time for him to go taking off so far from his base of supply. They've managed to take these two small Kansas towns, but neither of them is producing much supply for him, so don't really know what he's doing. So let's see. Lion. He's been resting the last couple turns, and he's just about there. So I'll have him attack Little Rock. This series of brigades managed to get into Little Rock, but it's nothing compared to the 1,400 power of Lion's units. It's only 1,400 because he's only a 1-star, so he's a 35% penalty with 4 divisions under him. But still, it's a lot of power. He should be able to walk right through this 300 power brigades that have no leader. Finally, down here in New Orleans, Hooker's made it to this region, and his troops are a little tired, so I'll give them a break before we try to assault Springfield here. It doesn't look like they have any defenders, so hopefully that should be pretty easy. And I think that's it. There's a lot going on all over the map because the Confederates are pushing in many different places at once. So I got a lot of different things I got to do to try to take care of them. Let me pause the recording, and I'll hit end turn, and we'll see what happens with this attack here, and the attack in Dayton, and the attack in Little Rock. There's a lot going on. So let me pause it, and let's see what happens. Well, check that out. That went even better than I imagined. I knew Grant heavily outnumbered the forces in Dayton, but I didn't imagine anything like this. We took a whole lot of prisoners. They've lost almost 1,400 men, and we lost only 3,000. So that's a huge victory if there ever was one. Ain't no question about it. So here, let me pause. Let's see what else goes on. But this may be the game right here. I don't know if the Confederacy can recover from something like this. Here, let me pause it. Let's see what happens next. And here's the result in Baltimore. Again, we heavily outnumbered them, and we won. This time, we lost 1,000 men to their 3,000, so it's, again, very much in our favor, nothing like the last battle. But still, this was really good for us. I'm assuming we own Baltimore again. We may need to besiege it for a turn, but I think after this, it'll probably be ours. We'll find out in a sec. Here, let me pause it, and maybe the Little Rock assault will come up next. Alrighty, we're back. There was no real battle over at Little Rock, Arkansas. I'll show you that in a second. Here we are on the next turn. Let's start with the east. So the Army of the Shenandoah with Joseph Johnston and Edmund K. Smith's divisions, they've all merged up into one region, and they're a pretty powerful group. So Keyes here is right across from him, and he has more power than they do, but I don't think I want to attack him. It doesn't really matter. Keyes isn't activated this turn, so I'm going to leave him where he is, just to try to keep Johnston from moving further north. Over here, Bushrod Johnston's command, which a minute ago was over here besieging Media, has moved on to besiege Harrisburg without taking Media. He left it in our hands. So we'll have to do something about him in a moment, but there's not much we can do. Crittenden, who just took Baltimore in a nice victory, his troops are a little tired. They need a break to bring their cohesion back up, so I'm going to have him sit. It looks like Longstreet here, who just lost the battle at Baltimore, he managed to slip away, so there's still a little bit of his troops left, but they're pretty beat up, and I'm not sure they're much of a threat anymore. We'll find out. In a turn or two, I'll have the new divisions in Boston ready, so if he's still wandering around causing trouble, maybe I'll have them take care of him on the way down to joining everybody else. So I think that's it for the East. Keyes stays put, Crittenden stays put, and we'll see how these guys move, and we'll react to them next turn. Moving east, here's our wonderfully victorious army around Dayton. I'm going to give them one turn break. Put the Army of the Ohio on defense for the moment. Luckily for us, although not surprisingly, Sherman earned himself a promotion, so he'll be a 2-star next turn, and Thomas earned himself a promotion. He'll be a 2-star next turn. That's really good news. I'll be able to organize all these divisions in this area into corps under Sherman and Thomas, all under Grant's Army of the Ohio. You see how I split Sherman and Thomas out into their own stacks in order to promote them? That's because when you promote a stack, I think the promotion icon only appears. Yeah, you see, we don't even have the promotion icon because Grant himself isn't promotable. So I always pull people out in their own stacks when they become promotable, even if they're the high commander, because oftentimes if the high commander is promotable and other people under him are promotable, and you hit that one button, it'll promote everybody. And I want to control and make sure I only promote the people that I really want to promote. So in this case, that's Sherman and Thomas, and I'm leaving everybody else alone. So next turn, there'll be 2 stars. That'll be pretty exciting. Rosecrans, again, is not active, so he'll sit there. I'm sending a few more generals up to join Grant so that they can take over divisional command from Sherman and Thomas. Let's see, moving farther west, It looks like Van Dorn is still floating in the Missouri River. I don't know why, but I'll let him float for now. And here in Little Rock, these guys retreated. The people that were outside Little Rock, they retreated. So now we're just left with a siege of Little Rock. And there's not very much, by the way, units on the inside, but I'll give Lion one turn off before he attacks. Finally, down here in the New Orleans area, I was all ready to take Hooker and move him up into Springfield now that his troops are rested. However, Hooker is not activated. So I'll leave him there for a turn. Hopefully he'll activate next turn, and then we'll go ahead and attack Springfield. I think that's all going on. That's all that's going on this turn. I feel like this game is now in hand, now that we've destroyed a whole division of the Confederacies here in Dayton. I feel a lot more comfortable about this game. They've been weakened pretty hard. And they still got plenty of armies running around, and I still got to play smart. But I think I feel more comfortable with the defenses we have lined up in this area. With winter coming, we'll be raising a whole lot of more troops in winter, and I think in 1863 we'll outnumber them pretty good. But we'll find out. Here, let me pause the recording, and I'll hit end turn, and we'll see what happens. All right, well, we lost Harrisburg. No big surprise there. Gonna have to do something about this force, but this little militia unit wasn't going to take care of the job. All right, let me pause again, see if anything else happens. So this is cool. We had a pretty big victory in Louisville. I had left one division there. It's been sitting there quite a while, just making sure that we don't lose Louisville. And it looks like the AI took what troops were left in central Kentucky and moved them on to Louisville to try to attack and take it, and they failed. We lost 900 men. They lost 2,700, so that's a really good victory for us. And we still hold Louisville, so that's good. Let me pause it, see what else happens. Okay, so that's it for that inner turn. This is interesting. Since they've taken Harrisburg, looks like they also took Lancaster, and a lot of the Confederate troops are massing here in this area. If I hover over Joe Johnston, you'll see they got a power of something like 2,000. That's a lot of troops, plus whatever's here. I think this guy's heading in that direction. So yeah, we're gonna have to do something about this. So winter is coming, but we're gonna have to deal with it. And I have to tell you, I'm feeling really comfortable with what's going on in Kentucky right now. We just won that battle at Louisville. Right before that, we won that battle at Dayton. I think we're going to clean up this little guy soon, and except he looks like he's starving to death, so maybe he'll die before we even have a chance to get there. So we got to outnumber him really well right now in the Kentucky area. And I don't know how many more troops they could raise compared to us going forward. So I feel like we're going to be able to push through here next year pretty well because of those battles we won just in the last 2 turns. And it looks like we took Little Rock. They surrendered, I guess. So this is all great news. All right, I'm going to end this video here. It's been going on long enough. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed watching.